Very good Monday evening. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and welcome into Time Out here on TVNB. Jim Hennessy flying solo this week. My co-host Barry Johnston unfortunately had a death in the family, so we wish Barry and his family all the best. Well, we get right to it. Of course, a busy week for hockey fans around the metro area as the St. John Flames open their 1998-99 AHL campaign at home. And here is the highlight package from that home opener Thursday night down at the station. They put on a great laser light show. There you see the Flames logo, the dragon, and the players coming through as they get set to start their upcoming campaign. Eric Landry, and their starting goaltender Thursday night, a gentleman who is loved and adored here in the metro area by the Flames fans, Igor Karpenko, and he had a busy night. So here we go, period one action. As the St. John Flames came out on all cylinders flying, and Nat Delmachelli opened the Flames season with the first goal coming up here at 7:26. So the opening frame just from the top of the circle with the assists going to Clark and Brigley. Here's Delmachelli spinning around. You see him in the top of the circle. The shot and the goal. So the Flames are on the board, and Delmachelli opens the season on a bright note for the St. John Flames. Now the Leafs would then capitalize on some very sloppy Flames defensive play. Coming up here, Delmachelli getting his congratulations from the team. The Leafs continue their attack, and the Flames just couldn't clear the puck. A rebound bouncing around, and there was Podolin on his first of 3 on the night. And the Leafs didn't waste much time grabbing the lead after that, as former St. John Flame Ladislav Cohn, who got a huge ovation as this game got underway. You'll see Cohn wire one here top shelf. Boom. Karpenko didn't even see it. So Cohn, in his return to Harbor Station, gives the Leafs a 2-1 lead at 16:45. Second period action now. The Leafs had their third goal on the night. More sloppy defensive play from the Flames. And the Leafs DL capitalizes to give the Baby Buds a 3-1 lead early in the second period of play. Leafs continue their onslaught with some nifty passing between Podolin and Brand, and that gives the Leafs an early 4-1 lead. And then the pleasantries get exchanged. Here we go. Chris Dingman and DJ Smith exchanging a couple lefts and rights. And we pretty much have to call that fight a draw, we would think. There they wrestle each other to the ice. Linesmen step in to break them up. So Rick Vaive is desperately trying to rally up the troops here and try to get his team back into it as they trail 4-1 into the second period of play. But the Flames come to life at the close of the second period as Steve Bajin closes the margin to 4-2 Leafs. On a shot there, screen shot, and the goaltender. And Bajin pretty happy he's got his first goal of the season and closes the gap to 4-2 Leafs. But the Baby Buds are not long in responding after that one. As you see the Flames doing a little celebration there, but it would be short-lived as the Baby Buds take control of this game. Jason Podolin whacks one home, and this will give the Leafs a 5-2 lead after 40 minutes of play. Podolin really on fire for the Baby Buds on this night. Flames open the third with some good solid forechecking in the Leafs' end, and Eric Landry, you'll see here, sliding it home to close the gap to 5-3, and the Flames faithful on hand. Pretty excited that they come out to jump all over them in the early goings in the third. Then the Leafs begin to run away with it, though, as Jason Podolin scores his third goal of the night. That completes the hat trick and makes the score 6-3 Leafs. Flames get their final goals tonight as defenseman Chris Dingman tips home the shot to close the gap to 6-4. But that's the Leafs put the game out of reach as Brand gives the give and go for his second goal of the night. And the Leafs go on to spoil the Flames' home opener, winning 7-4. So the St. John Flames are in search of their first win on the young season, and they get their chance Saturday night as they play host to the Portland Pirates at Harbor Station. So let's go to the highlights and see how the Flames made out. So the St. John Flames are fired up and ready to go Saturday night in search of their first win of the season. Matt Eisler gets a nod between the pipes for the Flames, with Igor Karpenko getting a night of rest after a tough outing. Sebastian Scarponche gets the nod for the Pirates. Flames waste no time making their presence felt. Eric Landry dropping the hammer there on Jeff Paul. Paul retaliates in instigating a huge shoving match in the early going to get both teams fired up and ready to go for a great entertaining evening of hockey at the station. Rough stuff continues as Parrish roughs up Clark. Parrish would be in the box for 2 minutes, and you'll see the Flames taking full advantage as they invade the Pirate zone. And Chris O'Sullivan hammers one home from high in the slot to give the Flames the early 1-0 lead. And the Flames and the fans are loving this. As the first period winds down, bad blood continues between the two teams as the players square off here. But the Flames have won the first 20-minute battle, leading the Pirates 1-0. You'll see the players here scrambling around, squaring off, grabbing their dancing partner. A couple of good shots shown here. And the fans are loving it down at Harbor Station on Saturday night. So the second period opens up with the Flames scoring their second power play goal of the night as Nat Delmakelly picks up his second goal on the season and gives the Flames a 2-0 lead early in the second period of play. And you see Delmakelly celebrating with his teammates on a beautiful play, heading over to the bench to get some applause from his teammates and congratulations. But the Pirates waste no time in getting back into the contest. Just moments after Delmakelly's tally, Pirates pop one past home past Eisler to close the gap to 2-1. So the Pirates are right back into this contest and a great entertaining evening of hockey at Harbor Station. But the Flames continue their dominance on the power play, scoring their third power play goal on the evening. It's a mad scramble in front of the Pirates net, defense having trouble clearing the puck, and David Cooper slides it home to give the Flames a 3-1 lead, to the delight of the St. John Flames fans and to the St. John Flames team, as they have a clear lead now in the second period. 3-1, they lead the Pirates. But Portland netminder Sebastian Carpentier, he kept the Pirates in striking distance. He earned brilliant saves throughout the second period. Here's one of the highlight reel shots, and a beautiful save by Carpentier to keep this in. Now the Flames have a chance to blow this game wide open. Chris O'Sullivan rings one off the pipes. And then we'll see Eric Anderson pulling the trigger on a tricky backhand shot, which he thinks is the Flames' fourth goal. But the red light does not go on to Anderson's disbelief, and the play continues with the Flames leading 3-1. The Flames would get their elusive fourth goal as Chris Clark plays a pretty give and go with Travis Brigley, and that gives the Flames a commanding 4-1 lead in the second period of play. And that would be all the goal scoring on the night, but the rough stuff was just heating up. Steve Bancroft, he drops the boom on Casey Hackinson. Then Pirates teammate Brad Church cross-checks Bancroft and is given 2 minutes in the sin bin to think things over. Matt Eisler played stellar between the pipes for the Flames, keeping them in total command of the game and well on their way to their first victory of the season. The Flames here with a couple more scoring chances in the third period. But Carpentier comes up big against Delmakelly once again. Eisler almost caught out of position here. Matt Eisler with an outstanding performance between the pipes for the Flames on this night as they seal up the victory to the delight of the 5,000 plus on hand Saturday night. So the St. John Flames pick up their first win on the young 1998-99 AHL campaign with a convincing 4-1 victory over the Portland Pirates in front of just over 5,000 happy Flames fans on Saturday night down at Harbor Station. Now, there was a great deal of concern after Thursday night's home opening loss to the Baby Buds 7-4 that the Flames defense looked extremely shaky, to say the least. But Rick Vive had the boys clicking on all cylinders Saturday night, and of course the Flames will get their chance at revenge against the Leafs tonight as they play host to St. John's, a 7 o'clock game start down at Harbor Station. Rick Vive had these comments after Saturday night's game, and he was pretty impressed with the way his team played.
Well, I don't think there's any question. We played harder tonight, but we played smarter, I thought, and we played very, very well defensively, I thought. I mean, you give up that many shots like we did tonight, and our power play clicked, which was nice, and special teams were excellent. Our penalty killing was excellent, and overall, it was generally everybody played well and played smart.
Make no mistake about it, too. I mean, you need power play goals to win hockey games, special teams. You usually can decide a game. 3 power play goals, not going to get that every night, but hey.
Well, special teams are very important in any game, and tonight they weren't perfect, but they were pretty close to perfect. I mean, we did a great job killing, and we scored 3 power play goals, and that was the difference, obviously, in the hockey game tonight. But we played better even 5-on-5 defensively in our own zone, and overall just the guys played harder and played with a little more enthusiasm. And maybe the other night it was the opening night jitters, so to speak, that maybe was a problem, but hopefully we can come out and we can play like that on a nightly basis.
You have to like the effort too of the veterans, Landry, Don McKelly, Bancroft, guys like that are supposed to succeed for you. Rose there tonight and really, I thought, dominated.
Well, I like the effort of everybody. From the goaltending all the way out, I thought everybody that played tonight gave everything they had. They played within the framework of our system and followed instructions and did a great job all over the ice. We finished our checks. We played. We didn't make very many mistakes tonight. And that's what it's. You're going to make some, and we're going to be able to correct those. But we made some mistakes, but we were working hard when we made those mistakes, and you can't say anything bad about that.
Thanks,
Coach. After the 2 games you've got in now, how do you feel about the team in general? What's your impression?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's we still have a lot of players around, and we're still experimenting somewhat with guys in and out of the lineup, and the possibility of even more players coming down when Calgary returns from Japan. But I like what I see so far, especially the way we played tonight. I think if we could play like that on a nightly basis, we're not going to win every game, but I think we're going to win quite a few if we play like that.
So Flames head coach Rick Vaive pretty pleased that his team picks up their first win of the season into their second game on the season, a 4-1 victory over the Portland Pirates. So Rick Vaive notches his first W as an AHL head coach. Stick around, we got more great stuff coming up. As well, we'll be chatting with Steve Vare, general manager of the AQ Ice Bears.
There's a lot to be said about New Brunswick sports, and you can catch up on the latest during Sports Monday. Call in with your comments starting at 8 p.m. on Channel 10 TVNB.
It's 5:05 and number 1 Rock. We're out of here. Have a great weekend.
Long weekends are a great time to get away. But there are also times when the need for blood is greatest. So before you fill this bag, fill one for us. Give the gift of life.
My daughter does not cooperate with me.
I've tried that.
I never realized how much patience I didn't have.
Oh, no, everything's fine.
No, I've tried that too.
Once a weekend, we go out as a family.
The sun is shining, it's warm.
Hey, we have to spend some time together.
So that's our time. We get ready and we go to the park or we go for the mail.
You know, if there's things that we need to talk about or whatever, that's usually the time it happens.
I don't know, just get a bit of perspective.
Yeah, it's worth it.
This is TVNB, the New Brunswick channel.
And a good Monday evening. Welcome back to Time Out here on TVNB. Glad to be joined in the studio now by former general manager of the St. John Ice Bears. And we say that formal very, very loosely because we know you guys are all set to come back. Steve Vare, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks a lot, Jim.
Stephen, let's talk about a little bit just about the situation, what happened. Senior hockey came back. It was doing great at the LBR. The fans were coming back. You were glad to have it back, I know, because we talked on many occasions before the team even hit the ice. Then all of a sudden this year you had to take a leave of absence. Explain.
Well, it was really, really disappointing to us. We worked all summer to try to save the league. We knew Bathurst was in a difficult situation with the major junior moving into there. And we knew Truro had let us know last year that they weren't totally a stable franchise after the Allen Cup because Maritime Junior had moved in there and there was ice time problems and so forth. So we said, look, let's go to the island and try to get a franchise. Let's tap out more spots in New Brunswick. Let's check Nova Scotia. And we got our island franchise and we thought we had one in Capilé, and unfortunately, the end of September things didn't come together, and we're gonna sit for a year and and tap the Nova Scotia market and hopefully another New Brunswick market, and we're going to have senior hockey back in the Maritimes next year.
I know how disappointed you were when this whole thing transpired, when you guys realized that the team and the league would not be up and running for this coming season. You guys put a lot of work into it. People don't realize how many hours behind the scenes are put into this. How did the players take this when you had to make the announcement to them?
Well, that was the most disappointing part for myself and the other owners of the hockey club, in that one of the major reasons we want to continue this and do this was it was really nice to watch the local flavor go out and play at a high level of hockey, and to not have that for them this year was probably the biggest disappointment for us. We all love it and like to do it, but to see those guys and had to call them on the telephone and say, guys, we're not going to be there for you this year, that was probably the most difficult part.
Absolutely. Now, as you and I both know, when you get something back up and running like this, it's fabulous. Then all of a sudden, you have to take that year leave of absence, and that makes it tough. What's some of the feedback that people are saying to you about whether or not they will come back to the rink?
Well, it's funny, after it was official that we weren't going to go for this year, I didn't realize we had as many Ice Bear fans as there was, because everywhere I went, people were commenting, geez, I'm sorry to hear about the team. And actually, at the end of last year, we had a tough expansion year, and we were probably playing in the best amateur hockey league in North America, and that's how strong that league was. And I think we struggled right through, and we built a pretty good hockey team by the playoff time, and the fans really enjoyed those 2 double overtime games they watched with Miramichi here.
Absolutely.
And we had a pretty credible hockey team at the end of it, and I think last year was our spawning year, and this year we were going to build on what we built last year, and that's the real disappointing part, because now we're back to really square one when you get a year off like this.
Absolutely. What about returning players now with a year off? I know there's a few people that are going to look around the league or look around to different leagues and see if they can catch on there, but how many players do you expect to have returning to that lineup that you built on and felt that it was pretty good at the time before it fell apart?
That's a real good question. We've talked about this and said we feel that we probably had 8 solid local guys that are at an age that they can play this probably for 5 or 6 years. We're hoping those 8 to 10 guys will still be around for us next year when we come back. They've indicated that they will be, but over a long year, the only difference is, I guess, every team in the league will be an expansion team next year. So
absolutely. So you've got the heads up right there.
Yes.
Beautiful. Who are the teams, who are the cities or the towns that you're looking at right now? Who can we expect, or who are you still trying to build on?
Well, O'Leary PEI is the franchise that's going to come off the island. They got seats over there for about 1,500 fans, and actually in about a 3-week period they raised in the area of $50,000 in the community over there, and they were fabulous. They were going to be a solid franchise because there's lots of hockey players in the island. Miramichi is probably one of the best run hockey organizations at an amateur level in Canada, and they're very solid and going to be doing some work in that area to get another team. We will be there, and we're going to really look at the Capital A's, which was a chance this year, maybe into the Dalhousie area up that way, where senior hockey is still big at the B level. And the Nova Scotia market is obvious where we'd like to go to make it a real maritime league. We'd like to get 1, if not 2 teams off Nova Scotia if we could.
I know that you were at most of the league meetings that took place over the summer. What happened to Truro? I mean, this is a team that goes and wins the Island Cup, then all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, after the celebration is still fresh in their mind, they say, we're not coming back next year, we're folding the tent.
Well, the general manager there, Jim Foley, last year had indicated to us that Stu Rath, who was the owner of the team down there, also owns a Junior B team and a Maritime Junior A team, and it was just getting to be too much. 3 teams weren't feasible in that town. People were going to the Maritime Junior games and not really attending the senior games, and there was ice time problems, as we're all well aware of. The game 7 between Bathurst and Truro was played at 9 a.m. in the morning, so
that makes it tough, yeah.
You know, so I wasn't surprised about Truro, but I was disappointed Bathurst went, because Bathurst had a real solid franchise up there, and they want to still operate, but the owner there wouldn't give them the rights to go into the rink. So there's not much choice of them trying to move to another rink at that point, because that rink, I think the people are going to go to, because it's such a beautiful facility up there.
Sure. With so many leagues now, you've got Maritime Junior A, you've got Junior B hockey, you've got senior hockey coming back next year, AHL here in town. I know that you work extremely hard, and everybody else does. It was involved with the Ice Bear senior hockey team. Can it continue to thrive?
There's no question. I believe St. John, as long as we're not going head-to-head on the Knights of Flames play, which would be very smart for either one of us, sure. There's enough solid hockey fans in this town that they'll go to Harbor Station, and they also enjoy watching the local guys at the Beaverbrook rink. And I believe last year, with the struggle that we had we could have drawn a lot better if we would have been more competitive at the start. But being an expansion team, you have to pay your dues, and by playoff time, everybody enjoyed the hockey.
And some people might not know this. I mean, you guys struggled on the ice, had some good moments, but you struggled off the ice as well. Unfortunately, due to a fire, you guys lost all your gear towards the end of the season. It all burned in a very tragic fire out by EPR. Give us a little background on that.
Yeah, it was actually we had it upstairs in Skate Traders, which is owned by the Walker family, and Jeff was the captain of the hockey team, and he was good enough to let us store the gear there at the time. And 2 weeks after we put the gear in there, unfortunately, it was in the wrong building, I guess, and it was just. I think I said at the time to one of our partners, "It's just the way the whole thing is gone. You know, we shouldn't be surprised." But
yeah, sure.
You know, it didn't curtail us. We were ready to go. We were going to make it happen again, and we have some very dedicated guys, and John Skeed and Don Campbell and Tom Young, and these guys have put a lot into the organization, and they were ready to go again.
And you guys had some uphill battles, no question about that. Let's flip the page here to the AHL. St. John Flames, they opened their season. We rolled some clips earlier when the show got started. What did you think? I know you were down to Thursday's game, and I don't know if you had a chance to get down to Saturday's game.
I actually, I think we got a pretty good hockey team here. There's a lot of people said all summer that the Flames, after last year, probably won't have much of a team here this year because everything goes in its rotation kind of at that level sometimes. But I'll tell you, when you have Ryan Bast, who's still here right now, and Steve Bancroft and David Cooper and the likes of those guys on your blue line, and when Jaguar gets back, and Nat Domicelli, there's not many forwards better than him in the league right now, and Travis Brigley and Jeff Cowan, I think, are both going to have big years. That I think people are going to be pleasantly surprised about the caliber we got over there.
How far do you think this team can go? Of course, you know, Flames fans were ecstatic last year, one game away from winning the whole enchilada, as it said. Can this team get back to that level or even close?
That's the hard question to answer, and that is because you don't know how many guys are going to move in and out. And I think if Rick Vive hasn't tightened up as quick as he did from the Thursday to the Saturday game defensively, the thing I noticed Thursday night was that you can't give up that many shots and be successful in any league today, and they didn't give up those many shots on Saturday night, and it showed. That there was no rebound shots. Matt Eisner was steady and made the first save, and the rebounds were cleared. But if you look at the games last year when Bill Stewart and Jeff had the team, there wasn't many nights that we gave up 30 shots in goal and there was no rebounds, and that's when we were pretty thin, and guys like Karpenko were able to come up in the East Coast League and look pretty darn good under that system.
Absolutely. What do you think of Rick Vive coming?
I think it's great. I think, one, he's a Maritimer. Two, he's played for the Leafs, and anybody who plays for the Leafs, Bruins, or Canadians in this area is popular. I mean, we watch them every Saturday night.
That's right.
And number three, I think the guy's paid his dues. He spent 5 years in the East Coast League. He won a championship. And I think that he's going to be a great asset to the organization. And I think he's got, from the little bit I've seen, that he's a player's coach. And I think, regardless of what you say, if you want to survive today, you got to be a player's coach.
No question. Now, with the Flames, still staying with them, and when you guys were up and running in your first year, a very good cooperation between the two clubs. I mean, it wasn't a fact that you guys were trying to, you know, get into each other's schedule. You both sat down before the season got underway, worked out your schedules, and that's got to be comforting to you and the rest of the owners, Steve, that, yeah, hockey is very busy here in town, but boys want to survive, so they're trying to help each other out.
No question. The Flames organization was there. They bought some season tickets from us. They gave us their schedule early. There's a lot of history there with guys like Gord Thorne and Nick Chiragudis, and they all love senior hockey too, and they're at the games over there. And all I can say is that with the cooperation we have from them, it made it a lot easier for us.
Let's flip to the NHL. Who do you like, who don't you like, and who is your wild card to slide in there this year and really surprise everybody?
A few years ago, that wasn't too hard a question, but Montreal was on a roll. But these days, you know, it's tough to call. I mean, obviously, Detroit has made some good acquisitions again, and the guys they signed, so you can't ignore them, and with Scotty Bowman back. But I would say Eric Lindros is in a make-or-break year for his career. As you know, as far as, I mean, he's made his money, but as far as being the guy that's supposed to have come in and done something, I think that Philadelphia, with the addition of Van Beesbrook and the Nets, you can't ignore them, even though they went out early. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be a team like Buffalo again, who has a great goaltender and only gives up 20 shots a night. That's probably going to surprise somebody in the end. Who that's going to be, maybe Dallas.
Who do you, the Leafs? Just give me your feelings on that, because
I'm really surprised.
We've got a lot of Leaf fans.
I'm really surprised. I'm not a Leaf fan myself, but Kenny Dryden's done a good job there, and they went through the preseason on fire, and 2-1 over Detroit last night. Maybe they're for real a little bit, and I'll tell you, if you get Glenn Healy, Felix Potvin, and Cujo in your nets, you got some good trade bait there, so you're only going to strengthen from that.
Does Felix get traded before Christmas?
Yes.
Who?
It depends.
Say Montreal.
I'll tell you what, if Montreal doesn't get some quality goaltending, they'll make the move.
Yeah.
But they also are on a pretty tight budget in Montreal this year, as you can see, and I think dollars and cents are going to have a lot to do with that.
Beautiful. Steve, I appreciate the time. It's been great. Thank you very much. You've been watching Time Out here on TVNB. Thank you very much for tuning in on this Monday evening. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving with your family and friends, and we certainly hope to see you again next Monday night at 6 o'clock.